Yo, good morning. What's up, everyone?
Hey guys, look out.
I'm having a bad week, guys. I'm all bruised up, banged up. Tables are broken here, but we're going to get through this. I got Bob Wulff with me today. We're going to get into who this guy is and his method on things. But before we do that, I want to say a quick thanks to our sponsor. Boom, Thrustmaster. Thrustmaster is like the simulation controller, talking about flight simulation, driving. Since 1990, they've been the one to go to with licenses from Ferrari, Airbus, the U.S. Air Force, and more. I mean, they're really, and when I say licensed, I mean they actually try to replicate the feel of those, I don't know, cockpits and steering wheels and other decks.
I've seen them. They look ridiculous.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
Well, simulation.
They look exactly like the steering wheels you'd see in cars and the flight sticks you'd see.
Simulation people are crazy, though. They
get crazy.
They get crazy. So, Thrustmaster, thanks so much for hooking it up on this. And I want to thank Gotham Roasters for the coffee as usual. Cheers, mate. Boom. What'd you get?
I got a flat white and it's delicious.
Oh, did you?
I'm a flat white guy. I mean,
I dig flat white when it's very, very cold. It's a nice slow.
I always get hot. I feel like iced coffee doesn't hit the same. And I'm an addict, so I need it like this.
Yeah, well, I actually think it's really, you're the reason I subscribe to Trade Coffee. I still going.
Yes.
It's really good. I mean, I like not thinking about it. I like being surprised.
So I like a little bit of both. I like having something that I can get consistently.
Yeah.
Like a roaster that I know that I've had before that I can get all the time and it's always the same. And I also like having a little treat, something that shows up that's different every single time. So I have a Trade subscription and I'll get the same coffee from a local shop like every week too.
And you can also, this is not an ad for Trade Coffee, but you can actually like tell them which ones you preferred or not, and it gets tailored for you a little bit. I kind of like it. Awesome. But I will say every time it says like, oh, there's notes of like marshmallow and then you're like, it's just coffee. I never.
So it's like wine. The tasting notes are just garbage. Like they don't mean anything. Sometimes they do. Sometimes you're like, ooh, I can really taste the bubble gum. But most of the time, no, it's just coffee.
And sometimes I get excited by it. Then I have to remind myself, like, you do not have this palate.
It's not going to work.
If you guys don't know who Bob Wulff is, first of all, local hero here in New York. I'm a big fan. Well, I feel like if you walk the streets in New York and you're a gamer, you probably recognize this guy. First of all, look at him, right? Second of all, he's probably opened up a lot of world for, I call it like hacking, but it's not, like just finding ways to get more out of gaming in general, weird little console-y stuff that you probably never would have found on your own, little weird back ends to stuff. One of my favorite videos he did was when Nintendo Switch came out with an OLED and everybody's like, oh, it's going to burn in. And Bob Wulff was like, I'm going to burn it in for you for like 3 weeks straight. And he tried and he showed us what it was. But my favorite video of yours of all time is when you took Tenant and you put it onto like 15 cartridges for Game Boy Advance.
So that was 5. I did the same thing with Morbius on the Game Boy Color, the Morbius movie. That was 36 cartridges. But I didn't do all 36.
And not to like, say you should pirate a movie, but Nolan got up there during COVID and was like, risk your life and see my film. It has to be seen on a huge screen.
To die for my movie.
It was so amazing.
I still haven't seen it. I wonder if it's any good.
You didn't watch it on 5 cartridges?
I watched small clips and I was like, I can't do this for longer than 30 seconds.
But Bob's also got the Wolf Den podcast with your brother. And also, you've just been around forever and you have multiple channels, multiple things. But first of all, let me congratulate you on almost getting to 1 million. You were so on the brink.
Gassing up. Just gas me up.
Well, I know.
I don't get this much. Come on.
Well, first of all, you got your fan for like, someone's saying congratulations, you're up before noon.
I know. That's a big accomplishment for me. I went to London recently, and when I came back, it broke me in a weird way where I've just been waking up early.
I'm gonna.
And by early, I mean like 11 o'clock.
I'm going to pull up your channel really quick just so you guys get an idea if you're not familiar with Wolf Den. I mean, first of all, everything's like a handheld with you. What is this?
Yeah, so the way the channel started, it started in like 2013, and it was me and my brother. My brother would do comic books, and I would do video game stuff. And it was just any type of video game stuff that I felt like talking about. And then when the Nintendo Switch came out, those videos started to get really popular, so I started to focus mostly on Nintendo Switch stuff. And then other people were also doing that, and they were talking about the games on the Switch. And it's easy to talk about games because you just capture footage and you just post that. But I liked actually filming stuff. I liked actually doing B-roll. So having an actual physical product in my hand to film was a lot more fun. So that's why I do hardware specifically, which ends up being mostly handhelds.
And I think there's a weird culture to handhelds that you don't see in a lot of things.
It's popped off in the past like 2 years, handheld stuff. There's a lot of other YouTubers popping up. I think it's first of all, there's not a lot of big companies making handhelds anymore. It used to be all of the big ones would have a handheld,
right?
Like Nintendo, Sony. Now it's just Nintendo. Sony is trying. I think they saw that Nintendo had a lot of success in it, so everyone else is trying it. Yes.
At least it wasn't the coffee. At least it wasn't the coffee. Okay, I'm gonna do some adjustments, guys. Hang tight. This is live, guys.
What a damn disaster.
Let me shut my mic off really quick.
I planned this. Watch the laptop. I'll try, man. I see Anthony Pacini's in the chat. Hello. He's see if I can do this. If you like the ads that I do in my videos, Anthony Pacini's the one that helps me out with that stuff. And he just texted me and I didn't answer him. I'm so sorry, Anthony Pacini. The Stream Deck. Woo. These things happen. I've had worse.
The important thing is you don't stop, right?
Mm-hmm. Show must go.
This is going to be a historic episode now, and it's all Bob Wulff.
Now I'm afraid to touch the table at all.
Well, and I might have ripped apart this.
What's that? Oh, that's the HDMI. Okay.
Yeah, hang on. We're gonna see if I still got. Sorry, guys. Little note. I fell through the tables this week, and I thought I fixed them. Surprise, didn't. So this is what we're doing. This is what live is.
I had confidence.
This is what live is. Although
that's what I get. Put my face.
Oh my God. Well, speaking of live, Bob, a while ago when we were really going hard on Twitch and this with Adorama, did a really good stream for us on our channel, which I was really psyched on because I've never gotten to see Bob like this, where he actually got to focus on the content creation side of things. And you were basically doing B-roll of a Game Boy Advance. You were going for it though. You weren't just like, here's how I would do it. No, you were like, I'm using this B-roll for this video.
I like talking about that stuff, and people ask me about that stuff a lot, and I never really have an outlet to explain what I'm doing and talk about.
You got hyped. I was like, man.
No, I like that stuff.
I was like, we got to do more stuff. Although you are addicted to mist filters. I got to say, everything you shoot is soft and gloomy.
I've been putting pro mist on everything the past year.
Everything.
Because I want a little bit of texture now. So I'll move on to something else once I'm done with the pro mist. But everything, started to look the same to me and started to look like just too sterile. So I want a little bit of texture. I want like light reflecting off the lens. I want like
you want bloom.
I want
you like
bloom.
that.
Yeah, I like the bloom.
You like, I know what did it. Your wolf den neon behind your head, giving that ring.
On the streams, it looks crazy because people on Twitch are just using a webcam. So if you click on my Twitch stream, you see an anamorphic lens with the neon light like reflecting into the lens. People are like, "Whoa, this looks crazy."
Well, I remember you were live one time and you were trying to explain to people who never talked about it before what dynamic range was. And it was kind of amazing trying to watch you like caveman it down. Like, all right, you see how this light is bright here and now it's dark? No dynamic range. I was like, all right. Yeah, I'm going really hard with that WWE contract. I know I'm trying hard to get noticed by pro wrestling, so I'm just breaking through tables. There's 2 broken tables in here, just so you know. Oh, I can't believe that just happened. I mean, I
gotta be careful where I step in here.
I mean, like,
I have to say, everything looks really expensive and professional.
Thank you.
Except for the tables. You really cheaped out on the tables.
And they're custom made. I actually didn't cheap out, but I mean, I'm not kidding you. Like, I don't even know if you guys can see all this, but like, It happened in here. ECW was all over the place in here. Sabu came out. It was nuts.
I like these mics.
Thanks, man. Sennheiser does good stuff. They've been around, little company, you know.
little small company.
Oh, is this QR code still going? Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. If you're just joining us,
this is the first podcast that they've ever done.
This is like episode 38, I think now. But I do want to get into some current events because I'm actually really irritated.
So the debate last night.
Yeah, let's do that. No, the PS5 Pro got put out.
Okay.
And no one's debating this. No one's debating that.
No debating. That was they announced that they were going to do a talk on Monday, and then yesterday, Tuesday, they did their little presentation. It was 9 minutes, which is incredibly short.
Yep.
Because that's how much they had to talk about with their nice new $700 white box.
Okay, look, I understand pricing up. Okay. What I don't understand is giving me less.
I was expecting it to be $700, and I was still shocked that it was $700.
Yeah, but the no disk drive really hit me because
Yeah.
I'm like, what if I own a library of games? Now it's more than $700, and I got to buy a stand if I need a stand.
Yeah, it's an interesting point because I wasn't considering people upgrading from a PlayStation 5 to a PlayStation 5 Pro, and they're not going to want to because you need to get the disk drive, and that's $80 more.
So my question now to you is, do you think we're hitting an era where the console's less relevant, that you can get to a PC, but they won't go away? I think there's still a convenience factor to console.
I think consoles are very important. I think the era we're in now is like when we were growing up, like people would buy the new hot game that's out, play it for a little bit, like maybe like a month, and then the next new hot game comes out, and then they buy it and play it for a little bit, and then they talk to their friends about it and whatever. And now that doesn't happen. Everybody's still playing Fortnite. Everyone's still playing Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto.
You're also talking to each other while you play now.
Yeah. But they're playing all of that stuff, and all of those games, they don't necessarily need to be on the new console. People are still playing on their PlayStation 4s. I think 50% of PlayStation players are still on a PlayStation 4.
Really?
Yeah. So there's no reason for them to upgrade.
Well, now imagine you're someone that bought it on Scalper, right? Like PS5s are hitting $1,000 on eBay during the scalping time. Are you really looking to upgrade that quick? Probably not, right?
Well, those are people who don't care what they do with their money. So maybe they will. I think that this is out to get ahead of the Grand Theft Auto 6 release next year.
Okay.
So they know people are going to want to upgrade to play that. If they have a PS4 now, they're going to want a PS5 to play Grand Theft Auto 6. And some of those people are going to walk in a GameStop and they're going to be like, give me the most expensive console that you have here.
That's true.
It's going to end up being that.
So do you think that we're going to start seeing PC manufacturers basically try to scale down more? I know you just did the ROG, I think.
Yeah.
But that's like a $2,000 PC at the end of the day. Console.
The NUC?
Yeah, the NUC. Yeah.
I actually really like that. I've been using it a lot more after I made the video on it.
It's big. It's the size of a
awesome.
PS5. Actually smaller.
But it's very impractical. For $2,000, it's a little ridiculous to get that. But if you're like, I have a lot of people that watch me who have said, usually the first thing people ask me like, oh, I want a PC. What should I get?
Yeah.
And the first thing they say is, I don't have a lot of space. It's almost always like, I don't want a big thing.
Well, we know people in Brooklyn. That's the problem.
Yeah. I think it's like the way that I talk just attracts New Yorkers. I think it's that.
You think our trash rat accent attracts
Yes.
all the New York
And
roaches?
a little bit of a garbage attitude, but makes New Yorkers go, I know this guy sounds like my uncle. You know?
We're not angry. We're just from New York. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
you got to keep
We're
on
just a little ornery. But yeah, people who say they want a PC, usually they ask me and they say, I don't have a lot of room or a lot of space. So something like that would make a little bit of sense, but you have to pay a premium for it. I don't know what people are into these days if they want something to play games. I don't know if they're gravitating towards PC necessarily because consoles are just the great entry level.
Yep.
It's so cheap and you're never going to get a PC. No matter how much people say that you can get a PC for $500
You
that
can't
can
do it,
play
no.
all of the games the same, you cannot, absolutely cannot.
There's always a catch, and things don't work. And that's the thing is about consoles. It's plug and play.
Yeah.
It'll just work.
Yeah.
Or how many times have you heard the PC port is just jacked up with bugs?
Yep.
And you want to play that game. Well, now
we're getting some PS5 ports that are a little jacked up too. Yeah, everything's a little wonky, but you always have to tinker with the PC stuff. And some people like doing that, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with tinkering around to try to get a little more performance out of your stuff.
Your whole channel's tinkering. Everything you do is
It's tinkering, but I'm like afraid to go into the PC gamer space because that's like a whole nother world, and they're all pissy.
Well, I think the reason you're going to see more PCs as an option is it'll be a few $100s more, but most kids want to stream while they're playing or something. Like they don't just want to just play the game anymore.
And they want to do their taxes.
Well, they want to also cut videos for YouTube or something. They want that one machine.
You can do a lot more, with a computer.
If they,
you also have like the Steam Deck, which makes PC gaming a lot more entry level.
I didn't think that was going to take off. I was like, the hardware is on the brink of being like on its way out. The games are going to get harder. I think you were even hard on it before it came out, and now everyone's like, you know what?
I was hard on it until it launched, until it said it was $400, and then I was like, this is going to be the best thing ever.
It's a good price.
The price came out because I thought it was going to be over $1,000 because everything that was comparable was over $1,000, and then Valve was like, nah, 400 because they're a storefront. They can take a little bit of a cut.
Well, the fact that you
hopefully
can throw it
get some game sales.
The fact that you can throw it into a big screen, I think, helps massively.
You basically turn it into a home console. It's amazing.
It's a Switch, man. I mean, what are you doing?
And it forced these PC manufacturers to start making something of their own too.
Do you think the videos you put out there, your opinions make it into like an engineering world? But like,
so I wouldn't normally say that it would because I'm tinkering around, I'm just messing around. But Valve has been really responsive. Sometimes when I'll make a video, I think pretty much every video I've made on the Steam Deck, I immediately get a DM from one of the guys working on it.
That's wild, man.
The video I made on the Steam Deck dock, the day I posted the video, I had an issue where like when you plug your computer into a monitor, it'll like remember like all of the resolution settings and stuff. The Steam Deck did that, but in a way where it broke and wouldn't display anymore. It like saved it the wrong frame rate and resolution in a way that it just wouldn't display. And there was no fixing it. So I put that in the video, and then the same day they're like, oh, we fixed it. It's a firmware update. You could download it right now. They pushed the update out the same day.
That's cool, though. I mean, it also shows you the power of having a platform and building a platform and seeing if you're constantly a voice in an industry, they have to at some point come across you. It's if they want to listen. It's cool that they are listening.
It's a weird dance because like I'm just messing around with stuff as a consumer would. And then showing people so that if they want to buy something, they have a little bit of perspective on what they might expect. So sometimes, I'm not getting things right 100% of the time. And a lot of times I get messages from companies defending all of the things that I said was wrong with their products. That happened with the NUC computer. I had a lot of problems with the NUC computer, and then I got a long email about all the things that like defenses for all the things that they had wrong.
Would you ever have any of them on your channel as to just be kind of like a platform? I mean, I think. Cool.
Well, I don't know. It depends because I have to try these things as if I'm trying it for the first time. I don't want to be like a product showcase for these companies. It's not like advertising for them.
But if that ROG came with a nice stack of cash in the box, then it's another story.
I have taken sponsorships from these companies before, but a good example is Lenovo. They have the handheld, and I was doing a sponsorship for them because I was like, oh, it looks cool. I'm gonna like it, so I might as well just take the sponsorship. And then I got it, and I was like, I got a lot more things to say about this that they're not gonna let me say in the sponsorship. So I texted my manager and I was like, hey, I'm going to have to do a review of this before the sponsorship happens. So just tell them I'll do 2 videos, but one of them's going to be a review. And he goes, they're not going to like that. And I was like, then I guess we're not doing the sponsorship.
You got to keep the integrity.
So I did the review. I kind of crapped all over it. And then I did the second video and they were fine with it. So
hopefully they'll only find that video.
Yeah. I think that they just didn't watch the review video.
Wow.
But no, I've done that with other companies too. If something is something that I would normally talk about on my channel, I have to have an opinion on it because people watch me for my opinion. I can't have the opinion of the money that they're giving me.
Oh no, the second you lose trust of an audience, there's no point to that channel anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what made your channel valuable is that they're listening.
Yeah, that absolutely. These days, you have to kind of grow to trust the creator that you're watching. because there's a lot of people out there who are just reading off of a spec sheet, or they're just blatantly lying, or they're taking the money and not saying that they're taking the money. So you have to just kind of use your own senses and see who you can trust.
They like hold up the box and it's like a new Rolex. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't take any money. What are you talking about?
You know how many times I've gotten an email and I'm like, that's a bad, I'm not taking that deal. These guys look like garbage. And then I see somebody else do it and I'm like, you got to say that you're doing that.
Yeah,
you can't just do that.
I think in your segment especially, there's so many, especially younger people that aren't mature enough to handle an interaction with a company, that don't know how to handle something like that and just go, well, what's the big deal? I'm just making a video. They don't understand the integrity of it.
Well, there's people who are like afraid to say that they're influencers because like influencer is like a dirty word.
Absolutely. What are you talking about?
But like you are influencing people. Like when I say like, oh, this is bad, don't buy it. I'm influencing people.
Influential is different than being an influencer. Influencers actually become like a label now. Like
it's a derogatory word for a lot of people, but the word is influencing people.
I can't imagine why people think you're angry. If you guys have any questions, please feel free. That's why we're live and we do this live. So as far as
my dad was in the chat before. He's definitely not in the chat anymore.
Probably lost half these people when I broke the table off. So how old is the channel? When do you think you've actually
over 10 years? I think this is the 11th year today.
Really?
I think today is the 11-year anniversary.
When do you think it was starting to become worthwhile to you? Do you feel like there was a pivotal moment that you were like, you know what, I am going to go all in?
So I don't know if it ever didn't feel like it was worthwhile. In the very beginning, it was just an outlet for me to talk about video games because I didn't really have anybody to talk about video games.
To nerd up.
It was my brother, and then we did it on the channel. So that was great for us.
Yeah, you and your brother's cynicism form this Voltron together. That is like ultra cynicism.
And then we get like, we get like 100 views on a video, and I'm imagining in my head 100 people watching, and I'm like, oh my god, it's the greatest thing ever. I was like so jazzed to just get 100 views, and that kept going and going. It was like, oh my god, I got 110 this time. That's 10 more people. So I was like just super optimistic.
But that was another YouTube ago. That was like the original play button. That was a different type of YouTube where 100 views was.
But they also were like, everyone was really supportive. Like even YouTube themselves, they do like these creator outreach things. And we had around 10,000 subscribers, which is a lot. And I remember people from YouTube came to my house to like watch us like upload videos because they were testing for the Creator Studio app. They were like making the apps, so they were doing creator testing.
That's so long ago.
It was awesome. It just felt like it was just always getting better and better.
Beat'em is asking you a question. Other than your brother, who's been your favorite person to create content with during your career? Oh boy.
You guys familiar with a channel called Redirect? They're good. I like those guys. Thanks. Beat 'em ups.
I love the gift episode. Where you guys get each other like really cringy gifts. And
Wood, we should do that again sometime. I don't know why you're so against doing those.
That was awesome. I was like, what's the next one gonna be? I was like riveted, and you were like beat red, going, I can't even hold this thing. It's a good episode. If you get a chance to watch that, that was really fun. And I do like that your channel is always.
I think he has a video coming out maybe today where we're in London together.
One thing I do appreciate about Bob's channel is, you know how you have to sit through an ad? He goes and makes the ad its own video within the video, and it's actually really enjoyable. The second he learned how to duplicate himself on a camera, it was over.
Yeah, everyone was screwed after that.
You're like, let me talk to myself about this product.
So the way that I view that is, first of all, this company's giving me a lot of money. I feel weird just reading off of a script. But also, I value the viewer's time. And I want them to watch it, and the sponsor wants them to watch it. So I want to give them a reason to watch it. Unfortunately, though, there's most people are skipping the ad anyway. No matter how good you make the ad, the second you say this video is sponsored by, it's getting skipped. And you have to say the video is sponsored. So
paid promotion included.
You just have to kind of eat that. And you can see in the retention graph, you can see a big dip where people are skipping over it. There's even tools now, like some ad blockers will automatically skip the ad that's integrated in the video, and they do a really good job of it.
Great.
So it's this past year or two, I've been thinking about whether or not it's worth it. Like I'm still going to do it if I'm getting the sponsorship. I want to make it worth everybody's time. But is it even worth doing the sponsorship if the retention is going to drop that much? And I've talked to YouTube about this. And I was thinking, like, is it worth it to do a Patreon instead of getting sponsorship money so that I can get rid of that retention dip? And they were, YouTube was basically like, I don't know, I don't think it would be. Like, they don't think the retention dip really matters that much.
Yeah, I think people are used to, they're almost like habitually doing the skip. They don't leave the video anymore like they used to. And a lot more people pay for premium or use things that don't have like the mid-roll ad stuff. My personal channel, I don't put any mid-rolls. I'd rather have the view.
I used to not do mid-rolls at all.
I don't do them at all.
I didn't do it for many years. And then I got YouTube Premium. So I never saw ads across YouTube. And then one day I accidentally put a mid-roll in a video. And the video doubled in revenue. And I was like, why does this video make so much money compared to the other videos? And I was like, oh, I put a mid-roll in it. And then I started watching other people's channels without YouTube Premium. And there's so many mid-rolls. People just got used to mid-rolls. And I didn't realize that they got used to mid-rolls. Now I'm still pretty light on the mid-rolls compared to other channels. But put a mid-roll in every once in a while. It's not going to hurt anybody.
Well, I once heard you talk about your videos as far as like a job sense. Really interesting that you're like, it's like having thousands of thimbles collecting rain, right? Like
I stole that from somebody. I forgot who I stole it from.
You're too honest. But I also think
I still stole that from Boogie. Who we don't talk about.
Wait, the Boogie?
I think I stole it from him. Yeah, I think he said that many years ago.
Yeah, we're not going to get into this. But what I do think, one of the reasons I think your channel is so successful is you approach your content as if you're a peer rather than someone that's talking down to an audience. So you're kind of like,
I hope it comes off like that.
Yeah, well, you're like, I absolutely carry around this thing and I want this to happen with it. And here's what I hope to happen. Instead of just like translating specs or basically doing a glorified like rundown, you really live with what you're doing and you can tell that you've been through a few things. Like I was actually going to get that play date and then I was like, I don't know anymore. But
I got a lot of crap for the last Playdate video that I made because I did a little like update because there's a community around Playdate now.
It's like a hardcore community.
Yeah, I wouldn't say huge, but
I was gonna say huge. It's hardcore. Yeah. Like they're really dedicated though.
That happens all the time when it's a small knit community that's really fanatical about one little thing. They got a little crazy. There was people were like, of course he didn't like the screen. He's playing it in a dark room. Okay, I'm sorry. I should paint my walls white if I want to play the Playdate.
No backlight, man.
Yeah. And then they told, to their credit, they all gave me. They were kind of screaming at me in the DMs, but I was like, all right, tell me some games I should play. And they gave me a bunch of games and I played them and they're not great. So I'm not going to make another video. I was thinking like, I'll revisit it. If I'm wrong about this stuff, I'll come back to it.
Right.
And I don't think I was that wrong. So
if you ever do a video that didn't do well, like as far as like the reception, and then you have to go live like that week and you go, oh, they're going to come at me.
So you mean
like trolls coming at you after you did a video, you're going to go live. I deal with it all the time. I know I just did a video about a product, so something people are irritated about. I have to go live the next day. I know they're going to be like, how could you? I'm like, I was just relaying what it was.
I don't care. I'm totally like fine with that. I'm really good at not reading the chat. I've just well, on live streams, I'll read the chat. Usually live stream guys are great. Because they're like the dedicated audience.
I'm really good at ignoring you. I just want you to know that.
No, YouTube comments. That's the dregs.
Brutal.
That I'm pretty much completely off. I used to read every comment. And then I was like, all right, I can't handle this anymore. And then I started to only read comments within the first couple of hours of videos up. Because those people usually are not like crazed. And then I've just given up completely. The thing that pisses me off most is when somebody comments something that tells you you're wrong about something you know you're not wrong about. Like a fact, like a verifiable fact.
I am there.
And that just drives me so crazy that I can't read it anymore.
What drives me crazier than that is when you addressed it later in the video and you know they didn't watch to that point and you're like, you could throw a timestamp at them and they still, it's just.
I wish that there was a way to lock it so that you can't comment unless you've watched the whole video.
Oh, that's very interesting.
I would enable that immediately. I mean, that would hurt like engagement on the video, but for certain videos, I wouldn't care.
We deal with different segments of population. A lot of I don't know if you know this, but photographers and content creators can sometimes have egos and think they know more than you and all that stuff. I don't know if that's so prevalent in your.
So when I do like mods and stuff, there's always people that know more than me.
The super nerds.
Because I'm just learning about this stuff. Usually when I'm making a video, it's like the first time I'm doing something. So there's always somebody who knows more than me, and I totally acknowledge that. But there's oftentimes people who don't, and those people are usually pretty vocal.
Well, do you think there's a difference? Because a lot of my stuff might be tutorial based, and you're doing more overview rather than tutorial. Do you think there's?
Yeah. Well, I think that you're mostly doing tutorials on stuff that you know what you're talking about. My stuff usually isn't a tutorial.
I just tell people I know what I'm talking about. I mean, they just threw me in front of this camera. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Most of the time, if I'm doing like a mod, like if I'm working on something, I will say this is not a tutorial for that. You should go watch this video because this is what I use to do it. This is more of a review of the mod itself. There's very few times I've done an actual tutorial.
What do you think drives you to keep evolving your content as a production? Because the level you go into for B-roll sometimes, I'm like, man, he really thought about, oh, I have to run this purple light this way and all this stuff. And
I appreciate that. I'm just bored. Sometimes I get bored of doing the same thing all the time. So
Yeah, but you don't have to like the same B-roll 14 ways.
Yeah, there's other people who are in the same space as me who just do a top down and that's it. And it's just their hands and that's it. And that's fine. And they're really good at that. They also know a lot. And I think people have come to my channel to appreciate the spectacle. And
The spectacle.
yeah. And I think it's fun to shoot like that. I think it's really fun to get the B-roll like that and get nice shots. So that's why I do it.
I mean, as a production nerd on my side, like it's actually really fun to watch your channel evolve because I've seen you build a new space. Then
You would hate watching me do B-roll because most of the time it's one light. I put the thing there, I get the shot, and then
That's one light. That's one light.
Oh, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Those are always there though.
Those don't count.
Well, I mean, I built this space with the idea of how I'm going to use it, right?
Yeah.
So it's anything else. But I really did appreciate watching you do that Game Boy Advance B-roll because you really were chasing it and you really thought about where you were trying to go with it. You weren't just trying.
Was last time when Adorama was on Twitch,
Right, yeah.
You sponsored me, and then I
Took over.
yeah, when I would do those like takeovers on Twitch. I don't know if was it your idea for me to talk about my production?
Because I didn't think you did anywhere. I was like, if there's anywhere that's going to connect, it's with our game because it doesn't matter what topic you guys are tackling. You're still trying to produce content to some level and relay an idea somehow. He just happens to be doing it about gaming, right? So it's our world. That's what this is. The crate, no matter what. What do you think that means, kids? You know, so I really appreciate it. Like you could see you were chasing something. It was really cool.
I was live streaming while I was shooting B-roll for a video, and that was on a Game Boy Color. It was like a Game Boy Color mod.
That's what it was. And I was shocked.
And I was in my tiny Brooklyn bedroom. That I had a Murphy bed because it was so small that I needed the space for like when I was living, and then the bed goes up. It was like, hey Arnold. So I had a little tiny light in there, and yeah, that's where I shot B-roll sometimes.
I was also shocked that the Game Boy Color was so dark. And you're like, you blinded my nostalgia, man. That's the screen.
Oh yeah, no. Game Boy and Game Boy Color, those screens are horrific.
I just remember seeing it the first time and blowing my mind as a kid. But
even people now who like are watching content like the stuff I make, they don't remember how dim it was because all of the mods and stuff, all of the screens now look so great. And all of the stuff that mimics Game Boy, the first thing they change is the screen. So going back and playing an actual Game Boy, it blows your mind.
The other thing that I appreciate about Bob was he backs up all his videos, and that sounds stupid, but you know how many major channels have come through here and they're like, it's on YouTube, whatever. And,
So
and
I
you're
kind
like,
of appreciate that a little bit, though. I know where they're coming from now because
it's massive amount of space.
so you graciously gifted me a big like RAID drive.
I bribed him. I'm like, you got to come live on my channel, please.
It was a good bribe. And yeah, I shoot a lot of stuff. There's a ton of B-roll. I don't. The compression format I use is not that good. Like everything's compressed because I know I'm putting it on YouTube,
Right.
so it doesn't need to have a lot of information in it. So I shoot in like I use the C70 and I use the middle like
Canon
compression.
C70.
Yeah, and I use the middle compression because I don't care. It's just going on YouTube. I just want to be able to play with dynamic range a little bit, but that's it.
It's also easier on playback and editing. It's a lot less
no,
taxing.
yeah, and everything just flies. It's great. So I used to have a shoebox full of portable drives, like the Western Digital like passports. Just a shoebox full of them. And those things last a long time. I got some that are in there for like 15 years. And I used to write in Sharpie on each one like the dates of the videos.
Classy.
And then I was like, I gotta do something about this. So you graciously gifted me the big, what do you call it? It's the G drive.
It was a SanDisk Pro G-Raid.
Yeah, it was the Thunderbolt 3. And it's
black. It was big and black.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then I ran out of space on it. I had about a year or two's worth of videos on it. I ran out of space and I was like, oh, easy. I'll just upgrade it. And the way I'll upgrade it is I will take a hard drive out and put a new one in, and then it'll copy all of it over. And then I'll take the next one out, put it in, and it'll copy all of it over. It broke on like the third or fourth one. It exploded basically. And then I lost like 2 years worth of videos. And for those two, and I frequently go back and pull from old videos.
Yeah.
But in this case, I would just tell my like assistant editor, like, oh, just pull this part from this video on YouTube. And I was like, it looks fine.
So you have a full team going on now.
It's me, Anthony Piscini, who might be in the chat. He helps me with the ads. So like every week he'll help me write like a funny bit for the ad, and then we'll shoot it and he'll do like an assembly edit for it. And then I have Benny who does an assembly edit. It's a pretty finished edit for the main channel. So I have a script that I write out, and then I leave little markers for where the B-roll is going to play. And then after I shoot the A-roll, I go through all of the B-roll and I write notes of what I need to shoot. And then I shoot it, and then Benny will look at the script and look at the B-roll that he has and just plot it in. So it's all like a paint by numbers kind of thing.
How long did it take you to get not a formula, but a process down? Because you have like a day of the week you shoot. You have a...
So the day of the week was immediate because I share the channel with...
It's a job.
Yeah, it's a job. And I shared the channel with my brother. And the very first thing that we realized was that for YouTube, you need to be consistent. And I'm seeing that now with a lot of my friends who have started YouTube channels recently, which sounds insane to start a channel now because there's so many people doing the same thing. Some of them have found a lot of success, and it's only because they upload every week. And if you don't do that, you're going to fall off. But what was the question? Oh, the formula. We always posted weekly, so there was always a day of the week for me, and that has always worked. It took me a while to get to the point where I would write a script and leave notes for myself and do it that way and get an assistant editor. I was doing it all myself for a really long time. Then I had a couple of assistant editors that have come and gone, and the easiest way to do it was to leave them notes. And I know a lot of other people who work on YouTube who have editors that they don't give them notes at all. They just give them all the footage and then they just put it all together.
Or they talk in the video to where they wanted to cut it and stuff.
That too. But the issue with that is I say a lot of things that might be a little technical, and it would be hard for somebody to understand what I'm talking about a lot of the time. So I feel obligated to have really detailed notes on my videos.
It's also perception of you, right? You're putting yourself out there, and that's the product that people are going to perceive. You have to dial in on what you want.
And I feel like I have a style of the videos, but the style I feel like of editing is very bare bones. It's very easy for somebody to pick up on. Yeah, I've had editors that have come like my current editor. He's Gen Z, and when he started, he was doing like Mr. Beast edits. They were like super quick, and he was doing all this stuff. And I was like, all right, you gotta slow down.
Especially when you're talking, you don't want to have like this ADD feeling to your videos. It just drives.
No, but he immediately was like, all right, I get it, and then he just cooled it down, gave it some space, and it's great. I like where we're at now. Everything's been really good.
So what's like your average team size? Would you say you have like about 3-4 people working with you at all times?
I guess you can include my manager because he gets all the sponsorships. So there's him, Piscini, and Benny. So that's it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you're a large channel.
I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. My brother who does the podcast.
Did I not see your brother in the chat? I don't know.
You might have seen my dad. My dad is not part of the team, but he likes to think that he is. My dad's like, I gotta go to you. We gotta see your manager. I got some things to say to him.
Was this what? At what point do you feel like you could have gone full time with the channel like that? This is what you do now.
That took a really long time. We started in 2013, and it was a weekly thing. We were just farting out videos, and then 2016 at the very end in like December, I quit my full-time job. I used to work at like a t-shirt company. I quit my full-time job. Oh, there's Will. Will is in the chat.
Yeah, didn't you do graphics?
Yeah, I did t-shirt graphics. And like what it was, I did a bunch of graphic design stuff for them. But I quit that to work for another YouTube channel that was called ShottyCast. They picked up, I like pitched a show to them and they picked it up. And then that channel almost immediately went under. They were they had like a host, like a main host on the channel. It was like a 1 million subscriber channel. They had a main host on it, and that guy was quitting while they were hiring other people. So everybody stopped watching the channel. So I only posted like a couple of videos until the channel just plummeted. But that was 2017 when the Nintendo Switch was coming out. And we on the Wolf Den channel were covering speculation on the Nintendo Switch and stuff, and that exploded, and that made the channel explode. So that year I made like almost no money the whole year. I was broke as all hell. And then the following year, everything started to finally pay off that we were working on.
Were you going for sponsors right away, or was it just AdSense? I feel like that's the hardest thing, is figuring out when the sponsors come in.
So the sponsors just show up. Don't try to like
yeah, but they want to give you free stuff and not pay you. Like, that's not a living.
Yeah, you need to know when it's a bad deal. Sponsors trickled in a little bit pretty early on. It was like there was one that was like a Reddit knockoff called Amino that paid like $200 for like a spot, but we were getting like 1,000 views. So I was like, this is awesome. I'm a big time. I'm a professional now. But that was before the Nintendo Switch stuff, I think. And then, yeah, I think it was around like 2018 or 19 where like real sponsors started to like trickle in. Yeah. And there was like I could make like a decent living off of it.
Do you do speaking engagements, like go to Gamescom or anything like that? And
I do some stuff at conventions, but nothing paid. There was one offer I got to go to like an arcade in Jersey. And I was like, this is weird.
You couldn't pay me to go to Jersey. What are you
exactly.
doing?
I was like, I need a lot more money if I'm going to
and
Jersey.
A passport. And
no, it just felt weird to me to like be like, hey, everybody, come to this arcade. I'll be there. You know,
it's like the early 90s. Like, hello, fellow kids.
Yeah, no. When I go to a convention, sometimes people would be like, oh my God, I came all the way from like Germany because I knew you were going to be here. And I was like, that's weird. That's a lot. I would never go that far to see somebody. So I feel bad making people travel all the way to do that.
Was there a time that you felt your channel, it was like very full of anxiety and everything like that, because it's so timely? Like if the Switch doesn't come out, or new Switch didn't come out yet still, like, do you feel like if there's not a new release, something big to talk about, you're like,
oh, that's right now.
You're losing your mind?
That's happening right now.
Yeah.
It's picked up a little bit.
Is that why I'm watching all these handhelds, Bob?
Oh, you're gonna keep watching handhelds.
There's like one every day.
Yeah. My last video was me saying, I'm not talking about this. There's too many.
You have your own. I saw the Wolf Den Game Boy.
Oh, yeah.
That's slick, though.
Thank you. No, the summer was rough. This summer, there's games. The whole games industry is in a lull right now, and all of the game companies acknowledge that. So
it takes so much longer to build a game now. 5 years to put out a game.
It's taking longer and longer, and more money. And they're getting worse and worse. But also, my channel is focused on hardware.
Right.
I'm fortunate that there is a lot of this fringe stuff, like the Ambronix and the Aya Neos and whatnot. But they're releasing so many that they're not unique or interesting anymore. So it's getting easier to find unique and interesting stuff, though. So I don't want to complain too much. But there's always stuff to talk about. I've always got something to talk about.
What do you think about...
The problem is it has to be interesting to people. And
right.
A lot of times it's not.
Yeah. And what do you think about the creeping in of AI? Because they're claiming that AI is going to make everything speed up, right? Like game development will go faster. You could even be doing your edits via AI one day.
So I think that a lot of people say things are AI when they're not. So AI is like the new like NFT. It's like... It's just a word people are saying because they think people are going to give them investment money.
My GPU said AI on the box, so therefore it's better. What are you talking about?
I'm interested in like Siri like picking up some AI, because Siri and Amazon Echo, I don't want to wake up everybody's little device at home, but all that, those are horrible. They're not good at listening to you. You can't talk to them like a normal person. So them picking up like a large language model would be amazing. But like in terms of like AI helping with video games and stuff, I've used AI tools in video making, and like the greatest thing was AI editing for audio in Premiere. There was like a little thing where you can click the little AI button and it'll fix all of your audio. I used that when I did a Japan trip. Our audio was in public and stuff, and it sounded horrible. So I hit the little button and everything sounded amazing. I was like, oh my God, this is great. 2 weeks later, I did it again. Everything sucked. And now since then, it's always been bad.
I got you. You ready for this?
Okay.
We all use DaVinci here now. We moved.
I actually was on a thread and I heard that DaVinci was really good.
Not only is it good, hold on. I'm gonna breathe. Not only is the built-in one good, I downloaded a plugin. This is not sponsored or anything, but I downloaded a plugin called Clear, and it AI recognizes reflection, because in my studio it's all hard cement, so all my videos sound like a mess of echo. So I downloaded it, isolated just the echo as its own audio track, and I delete it. And now it's like I have a sound treated room.
That's awesome.
It is mind blowing. And they're calling.
Does that plugin work for Premiere too, or is it just DaVinci?
I don't know, but I think
up.
DaVinci has changed so much for me. Fernando, I know, is in the chat. Sal upstairs. It's been great. And it's also, so I shoot a lot of video on Nikon, and they have NRAW now, like Nikon RAW. It was the first program to just be able to read that file format. Or we get a new camera, it's the first thing to read. It's been amazing. DaVinci's been.
I heard a lot of good things about DaVinci.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
way too stubborn and like brained. I want to try Final Cut, because I use everything on Mac. My editor now uses Mac, so I've been wanting to mess around with Final Cut, but I'm hearing horrible things about everything except DaVinci. Everybody seems to love DaVinci.
It's just, and they just put out a new version of it. It's blowing my mind even more. I'm just really into it. It's been.
I got
great.
problems with Adobe and Premiere. It's always, something's always wrong. Something always is just a little messed up in a way that ruins my experience.
And you're filming everything on Canon?
Yeah, pretty much. I recently got the X100V, X106, the Fujifilm one, and I use that for a little bit of video, but it's mostly just like a fun little picture.
Oh no, I see it as you're on my desk.
I know, I put it
cool
like
guy.
it's like literally just a
we went to Tokyo
prop.
for that release. It was amazing. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a great
That was
camera.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but did you see the C80 that just came out?
I saw Adorama's video on it.
Oh, did
I was
you?
going to ask you if you had it, but I saw in the video they said we had to return it. They only had it for a day.
Yeah, that's how all releases.
Because I would like to mess around with it.
In our world, we get it for like the minute because
So this is the camera that I use for the viewers. This is the camera that I use for all of my shots. It's like 90% of the shots is with a Canon C70.
Yeah,
and they have now just 2 days ago announced the C80.
Yeah, which is a full frame version basically.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I think
the upgrades aren't enough for me to want to upgrade.
Yeah, if you're like, I'm gonna downgrade this footage, and like what you're doing, I think you have probably the ideal setup for what it is. You got your little filters, you know.
Really
every time
nagging me on the filters.
Well, every time it comes up, I'm like this mist is everywhere. Like, are you filming in a sauna all the time?
So like, you're a photographer, so I've seen on like photography subreddits, people are like, oh, the Pro Mist, everybody uses Pro Mist, but when I use a Pro Mist in my videos, other YouTubers will DM me and be like, how'd you get it to look like this? Because like they don't know.
They're not used to send me.
And I'm not used to Pro Mist, so I think it's like the coolest thing ever.
The reason we're so like, oh, Pro Mist is because
that's like 10 years ago Instagram.
Well, not even that. People that don't work on like trying to make a shot better, like, well, this will make it look. It's almost like a plug and play slap on my camera.
It kind of is.
Hey.
It kind of does. It will make a shot look a lot better if it's just you sitting in your living room, which was last week's A1.
You are meticulous, though. I mean, and I remember when the OLED Switch was coming out, you sent me a picture of this girl playing the OLED, and the screen was so bright it was on her face. Like, what do you think about this? She's in daylight. You think that's a real ad?
Oh,
is that you were crazy about that.
I'm friends with. He doesn't work for Nintendo anymore, but he was Nintendo's photographer, and now I forgot the whole conversation, but he told me all about that. That was practical. That was actually it. The girl was lit with the OLED switch. It was that bright.
I believe it, especially if it's like a white screen. I totally believe it.
Yeah.
I just remember you screenshotting it.
And I've done that now with devices. I light my face with the device itself, or I'll get like this cool like bloom off of the screen.
I use that for my home streaming setup. Is I key light over and I fill in the shadows from one of my monitors just on a white screen.
I've seen streamers do that now. They have 2 monitors and one of them is a YouTube video of white.
Yeah.
And that's how they like themselves.
It's a light panel. That's what it's literally light shoving in your face. You know, the nits, as we call it.
Yeah.
You know about the nits?
I know a lot about the nits. I know everything about nits now.
But you're really into the production side of things. You never think to starting a channel of that kind of, I mean,
I have thought about it, but I'm busy enough with my own stuff. I've talked to Piscini, who works with me, about, I have a second channel that I rarely upload to anymore. But it'd be nice to do like, I like talking about gear and stuff. So it'd be nice to be able to mess around with cool new like camera stuff over there. But I'm busy.
We got to get you a slider or something so we can get some movement.
I want a slider. I used to have the Rhino at the old studio.
Oh yeah.
The Rhino was really cool, and then I left that and moved out to Long Island. I need a new slider, but I need something small. I don't got a lot of room.
Yeah, but there are a lot of small. Like, it's amazing how shrunk down production has gotten. What you can do in a C70 you used to take a camera system like this, right, and like 3 other Pelican cases.
The C70 is very large compared to what a lot of people watching this are used to, but it is very small compared to what other people
for what it produces.
use.
It's crazy running gun feeling. It's very.
It's a little overkill, but at the same time, not really, because like I've looked
reliable. That's what you need.
It's pretty reliable. The screen is a little wobbly.
They addressed that in the C80.
Yeah, well, so yes, I also dropped it once and
yeah,
broke
that might
it.
do it.
Well, I sent it back to Canon, and they sent it back to me, and they fixed the screen, and now it's wobbly again. I don't trust that the C80 is going to be that fixed because it's still the same.
Hold on, Fernando in the chat. He actually used it. So is
day 1 it's going to be great, but
yeah.
How about day 80? Is it still going to be good?
Was it Bob proof? I don't know.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm over here
Yeah.
breaking tables. I can't.
It's got a big X on it. It's telling you not to use it.
I can't believe this just happened. I mean, this is just like, and I knew something was going to happen. There's something about you that something's going to go wrong on
it. It can't be too perfect. It's got to be a little rough.
I'm like, whatever, man. If this is the only thing that breaks today, great. So where do you head now? I mean, the channel's almost at 1 million, which is huge. I mean, yeah, there's more gold play buttons out there than we're probably used to, but million's a million. There's people that are struggling to get to 1,000. There's people that are struggling to get to 10,000.
No, it's great. I like that it's been working out so far. I hope it continues to work out for a while because I like having a job.
But are you gonna are you gonna put out your own handheld or something like that? Do you have anything else beyond the channel?
I've been working on a controller for a long time. But this has nothing to do with like the milestone of 1 million. I don't have any plans for like a big celebration for like 1 million. It feels really good. I don't want to say that it's like,
do you think you're ever gonna get to it?
Not when the channel was in its infancy, no, but when things started to pop off, I was like, when's that 1 million coming? And it's been forever.
I hate that you get a silver play button at 100 and then you have to wait 900K more to get to another.
Well, for a lot of people it doesn't feel like a long time, but for some people it feels like it might never happen.
It's never gonna happen.
Feels like a long time. Well, you were just saying you had a video that popped off and it got you from 10,000 to 100,000. So you just need another one of those.
Oh yeah. So and that video was about lighting kids on fire. So I guess I just
do another one of those.
Yeah.
Another child abuse video. Fine.
Child.
That's your niche that you've fallen into. So
no, they just needed an angry guy to yell at the rest of the photo community to stop doing that. Yeah. There's a lot of stupid things in this community that people do just to get like a shot they think will stand out. And at some point you got to like, everybody in our industry, everybody wants to say they're pro till they have to be pro. Oh, you want to do a fire shoot? Cool. Do you have EMT on standby? Is this fireproof? Do you have your permits? What's your insurance? Yeah.
That's too big of a production.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. And I feel like in your world, there's like, what's pro, right? That you got paid to go to an esports event. Like, what is pro in gaming, right?
Yeah. I don't know, because it's YouTube. So like YouTube's supposed to feel like a guerrilla operation. But lately, I was talking to somebody and they work in a professional environment, a professional studio. And the client was like, oh, I want it to look more YouTube. And I was like, what does that mean? And he's like, I don't know what they mean by that.
I think they just want it to be accessible. Like it wasn't put out there by a company.
In this case, it was a shot in a studio that looked kind of like this. It looked very nice. Does YouTube mean I want it
Jank?
nicer or jankier.
Jank.
Yeah, my mind went jankier.
Yeah, well, now you got kids buying old handy cams to get that look.
Yeah, there's like this like I mean, we're old now, so retro is like not that long ago. So like we're looking at it, we're like, those cameras sucked, didn't they? But
Is that a 3 megapixel from 95?
I mean, you were talking about I made a video on my second channel on my first Sony mirrorless camera. That was, you know, it's over 10 years old by this point. And that camera was bad, but taking pictures on it now, I'm like, they kind of look a little cool though if you slap a Pro Mist filter on it.
Oh my gosh. Well, I kind of understand. I understand it
It
because
looks retro. It's cool.
I think sometimes content is so polished that people don't identify with it. So, for example, magazine shoots are super high production, but then you had something like, remember, American Apparel was like, put a girl against the wall, hard flash. It felt attainable. You knew her. You've been in that situation. You connect. And I think that's what's happening with the generation that missed out on the janky electronics we grew up with. They're literally, you're shooting with your phone in cinema quality, whatever. They want that timestamp in the corner and the pixel fringing and, you know, what's that retro thing they put on top of video games to make it feel like it's on a CRT?
It's just called a CRT filter.
Oh, is it really?
Or an overlay or
it's like a pixel
shader, they call it.
Yeah. And you're like, I get it. They missed it. And it feels like we were shooting expired film when we were going like, look, it's all warm tone.
I think people appreciate the production quality of the videos that I have, but at the same time, I think things need to be a little janky for people to feel like they can relate to it. So you can't go too overboard. I'm not going to be buying a red camera and shooting in RAW or anything.
Oh no, when I was watching your ROG video, I was like, he's using black seamless paper and denting it, and it's folding and crinkling. I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah,
I gotta call him right now.
Let me get the iron out.
I gotta call him right now.
There's a certain level of like I'm also in a hurry to get all of this stuff out. So sometimes I spend a lot of time getting a shot, but sometimes I just got to get the shot.
Do you put a deadline on yourself? Do you go like, it has to be up by this?
Absolutely. Well, I've been a lot looser with it in this past year because I just don't want to kill myself. I'm too old to be doing that stuff. I used to stay up all night the night before a video to get the video out. Now I like to go to sleep. So I'll start my version of the edit the morning the video goes out, and sometimes I'm late because I want to work more on the video, and sometimes that hurts the views because the video gets out at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but I'm happier, so I don't care.
Well, that's the other thing, right? It's like keeping sanity levels when you're doing this. Do you find that some of your content that's completely different, like more your IRL, like if you go to a convention and you're filming more vlog style, do you feel like that isn't connecting? Like people are only there looking for the new Almanac or something?
Yeah, the vlog stuff usually doesn't do as good, and I think it's because it's so different from the normal content, but those types of videos always get an influx of comments that are like, oh my God, I love these styles of videos. You should do more like this. Inevitably, those are the videos that don't do that good.
Yeah, but you have to have enough of them to build that audience that wants to see a day in the life of Bob rather than that product.
Yeah, that's for the hardcore subscribers. It's like a payoff for them. So it's worth it sometimes. Also, it's fun. Sometimes it's fun to make those videos. So sometimes I don't care if it gets a lot of views or not if I enjoyed it and I think it's a good video.
I don't think people are unsubscribing because, oh, what is this, Bob? I can't have this.
It kind of sucks for the sponsor though. If a sponsor sponsors you and you're like, oh, I'm gonna do whatever I want this week, I know it's not gonna get a lot of views, and then they're like, hey, I paid you to get a lot of views. What happened? You know?
Well, maybe you get a sponsor that's more tailored to that. Like, if it's
no, you get a sponsor that doesn't even look, that just pays you and it just doesn't even look.
I mean, I got one from I did a video on my channel about a backpack that has a screen on the back. And I was like, why are they sending this to me to review? And I made it into a light source to shoot ahead. Like,
nice.
Yeah. But I'm like, I probably could have taken this thing to Comic-Con and filmed myself for a day with it. And that probably would have done better. But also it was just a free backpack. I wasn't really getting paid. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to.
Yeah, no, I mean, if they're not paying you, then why would you spend a lot of time promoting this stuff?
No, I spun it for the audience I have, which is lighting nerds that are like, oh, make it a white light panel.
Now I'm going to get a backpack. So when I'm out and about and I need a light source,
but I
have one on me all the time.
I totally could see you doing an IRL type thing that's more about something you're carrying on you while you're going to the con or something like that or something. But that's definitely
what the latest like travel vlog stuff has been, me showing what I'm bringing with me. That seems to be what people are interested in because my stuff is all tech stuff. So,
and what do you do with all these handhelds? You probably have like stacks.
I'm a hoarder. I need like a fireproof box or something because they're all lithium-ion batteries just sitting in my basement.
You're gonna do a garage sale one day, the Bob Wulff like garage sale.
Yeah, come over. I'll give you my address.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to liquidate it at some point, you know. It's unless you're gonna be one of those guys that has like a library of retro.
I kind of like the library because I often pull from the backlog for shots, or maybe a company will come up with a new version of an old product, and I feel like I need to bring it out, or I need to do comparisons or something.
How many would you say you have?
Handhelds?
Yeah.
Like 100, 150 maybe. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. Because they release a new one like every 5 seconds.
Yo, like I can't believe how many you do. It's just crazy to me. And
People watch them. When they stop watching them, I'll stop doing it.
Well, I think there's kind of an obsession in that community to find the best one, and then the next one has that
yeah, it's
thing.
because they do it on purpose. Every one has just a little something wrong with it, and it's gotten so absurd. Like it was already absurd when it started, and now it's just insane.
Do you think it's more?
They release one with a thumbstick that just doesn't work.
No.
The thumbstick just straight up doesn't work.
Do you think it's more about tinkering though? Like people like to hack into them and kind of modify them?
Well, there are people who like to do that, and there's a lot of YouTube channels that go really in depth on the tinkering. And there are also people who are just looking for the perfect one that doesn't require any tinkering. And I think I cater more towards those people, but I do tinker a little bit.
I think a major channel is probably, I want to find a handheld emulator, and they find you and they go, okay, and they go through a few videos, and it's a smart scheme, but you've got to keep it up. At some point, do you get bored of it? You're just like, I've got to find.
Yeah, I recently got bored of the Ambernick stuff. Everything's the same. So Ambernick is a company that makes these retro handhelds that play all like retro games, and they've been releasing the same thing every other month. So yeah, I'm sick of those. So I'm trying to only make videos on stuff that are interesting to both me and the viewer.
Yeah.
So,
and you can tell when the host is bored with something and they're just getting through a video.
It's a Venn diagram. Things that I'm interested in and things that the viewer would be interested in. When it overlaps, that's when I'm going to make a video.
But I feel like you could get into like bigger projects like that arcade.
Yeah, that's a case where that's something that I'm really interested in, and I know the audience is not going to be.
You don't think so?
Yes.
Building an arcade cabinet?
So it didn't get a lot of views, but a lot of people talked about it. So it's a really weird thing where like people weren't watching it like en masse, but there were a lot of people who were interested in it too. It was very weird.
YouTube's a roll.
I still get people like sending me tweets about it, like asking me questions about it, like a year out. So people like it, but again, yeah, it's not as like majorly popular as like a new console.
Yeah, but I feel like you've got armor on your channel. Like it's at a point where you can take a little bit of a dip or a hit.
Yeah, I feel like you have to take a little bit of a hit every once in a while to be.
You have to grow.
Be interesting to people, to give the subscribers something that you think would be good, even if it won't get a lot of views.
So what's next? You're just gonna keep going with the channel, chilling out till you figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep grinding every week, make a video.
No Bob Wulff book. No How I Got Stuck in This. No.
No. Again, I've been working on making a controller for the past like year or two. It's like a little keyboard style controller. Something that I just really wanted for playing like Mario games and retro games. And yeah, that's the next big thing.
I might know a place that could carry it. We'll see what's going on.
We could do a little event here.
I'm gonna get this guy in here because I want you to do a demo where you're filming for your channel, like the B-roll stuff. You have like self-taught yourself product photography on a level that I don't think you realize that you got to, just out of what you're trying to find. Because one, you care about the product, you know what will make it sing for you, so you strive for that light. Once you learn how to light, you get there, and now I see you have no idea how psyched you seem.
There's room for me to learn things. So if
you think
if you get,
I got a reflector for you soon. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We'll teach you some things. We'll trade off. You come in. We'll get you to do a B-roll demo in here, and then I'll tell you everything you did wrong after you're done.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
Oh my God. Listen, Bob, this has been great except for the table breaking. Thanks for everyone sticking through that. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, you can check out Bob Wulff on Instagram here, but go hit follow. Get this guy to 1 million. It's like this. He's so close. It's crazy. It's been, well,
constantly reaching.
Even if you're not into gaming, I think it's worth checking out his channel just to see how he goes about constructing a video if you're building a channel yourself. And honestly, there's such a backlog. You can see the evolution of his channel. I really do. I have gotten psyched on seeing like each thing you kind of move into as far as production. It's really cool to watch you grow as a creator. Appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you jumping on.
I like talking about. I like having a little chat every once in a while with you.
You can always come through. You can always, I'm always here. If I'm not dying from being thrown through a table, I'm always here.
That's interesting too to see you almost die. So
It's my everyday. It's my everyday. Listen, if you guys want to see Bob Wulff come do a demo here, hit me down in those comments. We'll try to make it happen. He's only so far away. And don't forget, you can check out Thrustmaster controllers here at Adorama if you're into simulations. Yeah. They have licenses to actually replicate Ferrari, U.S. Air Force, Airbus, and other things like that. I want to thank them. And listen, we're going to see you on the next one. I'm heading over to IBC, so stay tuned on this channel for coverage from the International Broadcasting Conference, where we're going to be covering all the new gear releases from Amsterdam. I'm leaving literally from here to go over there. So hit subscribe. And if you like this, there's 30-something other episodes with plenty of other creators and photographers and pros. Go check it out. Bob, thanks so much, man.
Thanks for having me.
Peace, guys.